What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition, our last edition for 2023. Podcast, Star Wars podcast, podcast, bring you light talking just Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. I kind of forgot where I was there in the whole spiel. Oh man, this is episode 239 being recorded on December 20th, 2023. Again, our last podcast for 2023. I am your host, Darth Moocher. I got Scott Solo here.
What's up, nerds?
I got Bootleg Joe.
I'm Joe, and I'm happy to be here.
I am Joe. Grand Admiral Franz should be joining us shortly. He's driving in the California rain. So fun. Be careful, Chris. Join us soon. And we will just say wave at Ernie as he is closed out his year podcasting, I believe, last week. So we won't see him till the next year. So hi, Ernie.
Bye, Ernie.
You're good, man. But
catch you at Ross, man. Catch you at Ross.
Yes. So before we get into all the good Star Wars stuff that we have planned today, we're going to go down the list of 2023, take a look back at this year and how we kind of like judged, was this an epic year of Star Wars or was it not? Who knows, but and of course we'll sprinkle in whatever we've been hearing around the campfire or the galaxy as of late, what rumors are beholden to us for next year. We'll see. But before we get into all that, Scott Solo has our list of Shadow Council / Patreons and everybody who's being digested in the pit. So Scott, take it away.
You got it. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah that just finished last week. Joyous Kwanzaa, if you will. Whatever you might celebrate, I hope it is a happy one, okay? So in the meantime, though, enough of that. Let's talk Patreon, shall we? Let's talk about the Shadow Council. Big shout out to our Shadow Council. That's AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Cliff, Crystal E, Dennis McGrath, Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, Flavy Davey, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude podcast, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Papa Schmitty, Ryan, and the Star Joes podcast. You know what? The next time you see us in January, we're going to have a Shadow Council special event to celebrate the new year where everybody that is in the Shadow Council can actually grab their webcams, grab their microphones, hop on with us and tell us all about their holiday season. And, other things. We're going to talk Star Wars. What are we going to talk about? Maybe, what do we all expect for the upcoming year? I don't know, man. We're going to figure it out. And we're all going to figure it out together in our Shadow Council party. So if you are interested, if you want to join the Shadow Council, scan that QR code or go to patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest Podcast. Donate a couple of bucks a month. And I tell you what, you can join us on that joyous occasion. But that's not all. That's right. We are also currently digesting. Well, Darth Moocher and Scott Solo are in there. So, hey, what's up, Darth Moocher?
Been in there since 8 o'clock this morning.
Wow. Yeah. That's no wonder there was one person waiting all day.
That's dedication.
Yes, that is dedication. We've got Don the Dad Dorn in there. We've got, Bootleg Joe's in there too. Look at that guy. He's right there. We've got Gordon Skalski in there. We've got Santo 1414, Crystal E. We've got Mando Mike in there as well. There's some other people watching, so go ahead, say hello, and you'll get a shout out because that's what we do here. We put everybody's name on the screen. Oh, hey, we got somebody on Facebook. Let me hop on Facebook really quick and see.
I wish StreamYard would fix that and actually show us names or something like that.
It's so dumb. It really is. So I don't know who have we got going on in the. We've got Scott Winters over there. So what's up, Scott Winters?
Hope yes, and also Mudhorn, Miss Sunflower over there. Hey yo, so she's in there.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So of course, it would be fun. We do this. We've been doing this kind of like year-end review, lately, the past few years where we take like the look of the season of Star Wars, what we got 2023. It's set at promise. I was revisiting last year's when we were talking about all this stuff, right? And I was like, man, 2023 is going to be epic, right? And I wasn't disappointed. But I at all. I'm more thrilled about Star Wars than I have been, prior. So
We had 2 solid seasons of stuff this year, man, between Mando and Ahsoka, and
Actually,
yeah,
go
so
down a list of all the things that we got this year, and there's actually a lot there. Yeah, the 2 flagships, Mando and
Mhm.
Ahsoka, but there were some things sprinkled in there. But I kind of wanted to bring this up just a little bit, and I kind of want to see what the pit thinks about this too. Is that when we talk about like Star Wars being the only thing that as far as like sci-fi that we consume, right? It's the flagship. It's the pinnacle of everything. And when projects come along and it says, they're the next Star Wars, or this is the taking place of this Star Wars, old Star Wars fans are going to be great, And of course, I'm talking about Rebel Moon that's going to hit Netflix tomorrow. As this is being recorded tomorrow, so the 21st, it's on Netflix, and I think it's already out on select theaters as like a sneak preview or whatever. But I'm always interested in any title that says this generation Star Wars or the next Star Wars, whatever. I, as a sci-fi fan, I like sci-fi. I'm going to watch it, right? And I'm going to try to bring the negative comments that the creators did, not necessarily the reviews that are going on with this movie. It's what Zack Snyder and all the actors that they came out and they're saying like F Star Wars. This is the whatever, because this was the movie Zack Snyder pitched and Disney shot it down, basically, or Lucasfilm shot it down. Like, no, thank you. So they went and did the movie anyway.
Yeah, it's like he wrote it as a Star Wars movie before the Disney buyout, like assuming he would be able to walk up to Lucasfilm and just hand them the script and here you go. And yeah, whenever Disney bought Lucasfilm, they did not decide to acquire that script along with everything else that they purchased.
Yeah. And I don't think Zack Snyder changed it so much. So I'm actually like curious to see what this movie, because like again, it would have been, if it really was like adopted, it would have been different, not in the sense of maybe the storyline, but it would be different in the sense of probably the style and stuff like that, because there's a certain Star Wars flavor that you put into things.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the reason why I'm curious. Yes, I'm sci-fi fan. I'll watch it no matter what, but also I'm seeing like, okay, as it is right now, would it fit into the Star Wars world? Right.
Real talk here, real quick.
Yeah.
So AJ from the Forbidden Panel, our wonderful, glorious Shadow Council member that we have, said that in a post on Facebook, I believe it was yesterday, possibly the day before, that there will be, don't ignore all the haters, because this quote unquote kind of bland cut of this movie is not the director's cut of the film, that Zack Snyder is going to put out a director's cut of the film later on. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Hang on. Zack directed it. Zack produced it. Zack wrote it. Who the hell told Zack to cut anything off of it to make it a bland movie?
That's what I don't like about that.
Zack Snyder being Zack Snyder. And I'm just like, stay
sounds
as
like
far away from Star Wars, please.
Sounds like excuses. It sounds like excuses for that 9% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes at the initial one. It does sound like it, man. Like, Joey, are you gonna watch this? Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go, but I'm going into it as, like you said, a science fiction movie. I'm not gonna go into it thinking, trying to link anything with Star Wars. I'm just
I'll do that after.
I can't help it.
Movie.
I can't help it, man. I gotta look at it as, where would he have shoehorned this into the Star Wars galaxy,
Yeah.
And that I don't think, with all of his blustering and all the yakking about it, that I can honestly divorce myself from that. I've got to look at it with that eye.
When you make that statement, like, this is the movie I pitched. Okay, let's see it. It's almost like that not Justin. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What's his name? Trevorrow's script. If he took his episode 9 script and made it a movie, but it's independent from everything, and he comes out and says, "This is the movie I wanted to make, and this is the movie they rejected," I would still watch it and be like, okay, that would have been something else, or like they were right to drop it, right? So everything's subjective.
I'm just waiting to watch, and the laser swords are called bright sabers instead of lightsabers.
Yeah, exactly. So this right here, I'm gonna wait till Zack releases the black and white 6-hour version. Yeah. there shouldn't ever be the coming out before anybody's even watched it saying like, this is the Cliff Note version, but you're gonna get the exciting version maybe later down the line on a DVD release or something like that. And everybody's like, well, why would I want to waste my time of watching a boring movie where the exciting part's coming later? You know, right? So it's this day and age, press means everything, I guess. You know, I mean, I made a comment saying like I miss the days of just going to a movie theater, watching a trailer, watching the, you know, in the movie theater, and then having like watching that red carpet event of the actors just coming in, just saying it was a great time. I love working with blah blah blah. And then you as a viewer had it all. You didn't have anything surrounding. You didn't have anything negative or positive to go by, other than word of mouth. Like you guys, you know, like we would say, hey, go see that movie. Like go see Godzilla -1. It's great. You know what I mean? It's a great movie. Just spectacular. But I miss those days, man. That was like the pinnacle of the 80s, you know, and some of the 90s was like that. You just, oh my God, Back to the Future 2 and 3 are coming out. Like, how do I know this? You know what I mean? I didn't have internet.
That's the crazy thing with Godzilla -1 is it started off with a limited showing, and word of mouth got that movie to be expanded, and so now it's everywhere and more showing. So, yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the last Godzilla and Godzilla versus Kong or any of that stuff, right? It's completely different.
It's basically another reboot, but
it's a original story. It's a story that like you don't need to see Godzilla at all. It's just a movie that's like has its myth and it goes forward.
So we've got a Godzilla multiverse.
Yeah,
I actually think Scott. I actually think Scott would like this one because of the story alone.
Yeah. Yes, Crystal, thank you for noticing my Christmas colors that I did back there. So,
Here I thought it was Jedi versus Sith back there, not necessarily Christmas.
Could be.
Oh, okay.
I am planning on getting that.
Yeah, Mano Mike says the only thing closer to anything good sci-fi, Starship Troopers. I love Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers is good.
I love it.
I remember in the 90s, the thing that made me go see The Fifth Element in the theaters was the trailers for The Fifth Element said it's this generation Star Wars.
Right.
And I was like, oh,
made you raise an eyebrow, right? Like,
yeah, okay. And I think it meant that in just the epicness of the you know overall universe that they're in and all that, the world building that they did there. Because there was nothing Star Wars at all about it. So it was just I don't know. I walked out of that theater going, okay, number one, you can't say something is Star Warsy and then not have anything Star Warsy in it, or you're just gonna piss me off. Right. But it took a second viewing of it to be like, okay, this is a good movie, but keep your quote unquote Star Wars off the trailer, man, because it's not
they make mistakes like that all the time. I believe Stargate did the same thing, and I was like, that pissed me off because that movie sucks. I hate that movie with a passion.
Stargate?
I hate Stargate. Yeah,
why?
It's boring. It was boring to me. It was extremely boring to me, and that in mind, saying because it was this whole thing about like the new Star Wars. It had it in the tagline of the TV spots, and that's where I was with Fifth Element. Hit me something different. I love Fifth Element.
I don't remember Stargate's trailers, but I just remember going to see Stargate and enjoying it. But yeah.
Let's be honest, the only real Star Wars movie ever made, Spaceballs. Yes.
Wait a minute. Does he mean that Spaceballs is more Star Wars than Star Wars?
It kind of is because it recognizes it all, right? But anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up as far as like, it's always exciting to have, I will never say competition, but always exciting to have cinema get back to, amazing original storytelling, right? So I'm hoping that Rebel Moon is at least original and exciting to watch. Like, okay, I'm into this, I don't think it's going to be like this epic adventure, but something cool. And I think we've been missing a lot of that too. It's always about superheroes or rom-coms. It's all there. It's out there. So this, returning to,
I mean, the superhero thing, it's gotten to the point now where, the Marvels has been in theaters now for like a month and a half. And I didn't go see it. I haven't seen it. I have no interest in seeing it. I see trailers for other things coming, and I'm like, like the not Zack Snyder, but the new Superman movie that was announced, that's coming. That it's going to start filming next year, and I'm like,
yeah.
I want to be excited about it, but I'm just not.
I'm not either. Like you and I talked, right? Like after seeing The Flash, and The Flash was supposed to like restart the whole DC universe, I watched it and I was just kind of like, I'm over it. I was just, and I'll be honest, Marvel spoiled it for me. The 10 years of Marvel, the 22 movies that they did, spoiled it because it was a really, really fun adventure, and it didn't stop for 10 years, So
yeah.
Brian C checking in the Schwartz we trust, of course.
That's right. What's up, Brian?
Yeah, so also Mudhorn say, I didn't even know the plot summary for Rebel Moon. It better not be about a bounty hunter with a baby. You know what? I honestly don't know anything about it. And saying that doesn't help, because even people that watched it doesn't even know what it was about.
Can you imagine that if that was Zack Snyder's original script, he gave it
is the Mandalorian.
It's really the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Oh, the only thing I've seen about it was it's like Star Wars, but with more. It's like Star Wars, but with blood and hookers.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
is it Star Wars then? Like, really?
What?
You know what I mean? Jake Gooding checking in.
For a Star Wars movie, I've asked for blood, but not hookers.
Yeah, that wasn't on your peripheral, but I mean,
blood.
you're not gonna say no. So Jake Gooding saying, "Yo, what's up, guys? Checking in." All right,
hey Jake.
Yeah. So Miss Sunflower, So Andor. Yeah, I'm a 1 billion excited for Mandor. I hope it comes sooner than later in 2024.
Nope. It was announced today. It will not come out in 2024. It won't be until at least 2025. Andor season 2. We are being strung along for another year.
All right. Well, here's what I think. As I'm going to go down the list of what we got this year. Next year, the only 2 things that were confirmed was the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. We know this. That was from their mouths. Which are, we don't know what's coming first when it's said, or Bad Batch. We don't know Bad Batch either. If that's something that's already done, or we're going to wait another year for that. And I say another year. I forgot we had Bad Batch this year. So the kickoff, really? Bad Batch was this year. It kicked our year with Bad Batch season 2.
What?
Really? Because Mando and Bad
away.
Batch was at the same time. At the end, like they were saying, I think it was March or whatever. But so we, as far as like what we got this year, we've got Bad Batch season 2. And there's one more season. That's it. And they said that's it. After one more season, we're done. Brian you still need to watch it, huh? Like rewatch watch it. Because season 2 took a turn for the better. Way better than season 1. I thought season 2 was a great setup. There was some heartfelt moments, and there was a comment, and I just want to kind of throw this out there. There was a comment. I don't know if it was from Dave Filoni or something like that, saying that people that you think were gone aren't gone, you know what I mean? And they might be talking about tech. And I think everybody was like, no, because you know what? Because you're stealing. I understand tech was great, but I mean, if you have story progression and nobody dies, it's just, come on. We're not Star Trek.
Or do they have he's not Spock. Do they have his brain in a jar somewhere?
Now, if he gets turned into something else, like a Death Trooper, but he's brain dead, that's fine. Let's do that. But to me, that it was such a moment of growth for the other characters when Tech died that it needs to stay that way. It can't be like,
spoiler alert, Brian C.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, I'm sorry, Brian. In March of 2023. Oh man. We're still waiting for Tales of the Jedi season 2. There's no word on that. We'll see. Yeah. So, but
so good.
Mudhorn, Bad Batch season 3 will be there's going to be a 3-season arc for Bad Batch. That's it. So we don't know when that's coming. We also got Bright.
Oh my God.
No problem. I'm drinking right now. Okay. Everything, no problem. Then I don't feel so bad. So,
yeah.
Tech was wearing a red shirt. He's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Isaac Escalera, my 5-year-old just repeated blood and hookers. Thanks.
Oh, hey Isaac, what's going down?
Sorry, Isaac.
Yeah, headphones, earmuffs.
Oh my God.
There's a Christmas book called there was like, okay, Isaac, cover your child's, your 5-year-old's ears again. There was a Christmas book, and Chris actually posted it in the thing. It was about 2 tow trucks. One was a road clearer and a tow truck called what was it, Hookers and Blow, the Christmas story.
So it takes us for the
and it's a children's book.
Yeah,
it's so funny. Okay, on earmuffs, we're good. Okay, we're good. We're getting back into it. We also got Mandalorian season 3 this year too. And you know what? I was kind of revisiting it a little bit. You know, as far hopefully everybody's seen it this time. Go around. Mandalorian season 3. The only complaint that I have with that season, it was actually great, but there was 2 complaints. The only one was the bow on at the end of the whole, how they wrapped everything up, which was like, it almost felt like it was a finale, like a season finale,
like series
finale. Yeah, like it was no more going on, and that kind of made me. I was happy to see some resolution, but I was also nervous, like kind of no, you know what I mean? Like no, this can't. It felt like an ending, and we don't know if it is or not.
Okay,
but
so what was the movie announced before that? Before it ended or after?
Movie was announced. It's Celebration Europe, which is another thing on what happened this year. Celebration Europe. It was the 3 movies that were announced, or the 3 projects that were supposed to be movies announced, and it was the Mandalorian movie by Dave Filoni, and that was during Celebration, so it was after Mando 3. So they said that this whole all the stuff that we're getting that Disney Plus shows was going to come to a head in a Mando movie, a Dave Filoni movie.
Mandoverse. Yeah,
Mandoverse movie. And then, of course, the other 2 movies that were the Rey movie and the Dawn of the Jedi movie.
You figure they still got to finish off Ahsoka, so there's got to be another season of Mando.
Yeah, so Mudhorn is reminding me, yes, thank you for this, because we mentioned this last week. They did say it's going to be a show for Mando 4, not a movie. I know there was some rumors. There was rumors. That's what we speculated last week, that Mando 4 was going to be a movie.
Somebody's source said it was going to be a movie, and then somebody else's source said, "Oh no, my source says it's going to be a show." Honestly, it could be either or. Nobody knows. Yeah. It's competing sources.
Brian C, did you mean Bo-Katan season 1? Yeah. So here's the thing with the Mandalorian 1, 2, and 3. And I was watching this somebody else's YouTube video on the Mandalorian, and I can't remember the person's name, so I would definitely give him credit for this. But they were saying like how season 1 was like this set in this universe kind of away from things. Yes, you still had the Imperial remnants, but it was about Mando and the kid, and the only thing connection was like he was a Jedi survivor, a youngling, and had that connection, but it didn't feel close to home. Season 2 changed all that, and they brought in Ahsoka, they brought in Luke, they brought in all these things that were going into like the closer to home. Everything was around the Skywalker family yet again. So some people didn't like that, Good.
It was very Lord of the Rings. If you think about it, the Fellowship of the Ring starts off with a very small story about a small group of people. They kind of add more people along as they went, right? The 2 Towers was the big battle where everybody gets together. They all join forces. One person knows about the other person now. They're figuring out ways of teaming up to fight the big bad. And season 3 was, Return of the King, where it turns from this really small story to this epic, universe galactic saving adventure, where they save Mandalore and the whole bit. If you look at it like that and you rewatch it, you see that. And I mean, it even started, you can look at the Clone Wars as the Hobbit, it sets everything up way back in the past.
And I will. Thank you very much.
And Rebels, right? Clone Wars and Rebels. It started this all Dave Filoni joint, man. You follow that through line with the Mandalorian all the way through to its conclusion in Mando season 3. It is very Tolkien-esque. It's very, very cool.
I agree, because when you look at it like the big, like if you don't look at it as individual seasons, right? Like, blocks of just like, here's what we got. And you don't look at like this bigger picture, because even though we say season 3 was all about Mandalore, the planet, the Mandalorians getting back together, the different factions, finding their home again, fighting Moff Gideon.
Finding peace within their own clans,
Yeah, like
that was
coming back to roots, stuff like that. The one thing I really enjoyed about season 3 was that Moff Gideon was a minor villain for the bigger picture. He might have been a major threat for the Mandalorian season, like the 3 seasons put together, but that's what I liked about it. Ended because the Shadow Council thing that was going on there was the real galactic threat about the return of Thrawn, right? And that was the whole mention, and Gideon was doing his own thing. So it was almost like a boss fight, but that's like he's not the end boss. Gideon wasn't the end boss. It was the the first boss that you encountered. So I kind of like that. That was cool. So that bow to me was tied up very well. The thing about, like I said, with that comment, what that guy was saying was like, Mandalorian started off as like this distant story with some familiar pieces to it, Star Wars pieces, but then it got thrust right into the middle of that Skywalker saga and then pulled back again to Mandalore and all that stuff, right? Which is fine, because again, it's more or less Grogu's story when it came to like the Skywalker stuff. But no, out of the 3 seasons, I think season 2 to me is still the top notch because of Luke and Ahsoka and basically the just every
and Bo-Katan
and Bo-Katan,
introducing Bo-Katan for the first time in live action. I mean,
yeah. See, this is where I'm trying to understand this logic of thinking, because when someone says, "Oh, we're always going back to the Star Wars saga," or we're tired of hearing the Star Wars. To me, the Star Wars saga the Skywalker saga is Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what it's been since we were born.
If you want something that's without the Skywalker saga, and it's like there's always got to be something
that ties it,
because the Skywalker saga is always going to be the son to the whatever it is.
It's the cattle.
You know what I mean? Or to the galaxy.
Yeah,
right. The galaxy.
You're right, but at the same time, they also, when introducing the Skywalkers, they established that for 1,000 generations, the Jedi were guardians of peace and justice. And yes, the Skywalker saga is like smack dab at the end of this timeline that we're talking about. Don't tease me. Don't tell me that there's thousands of generations of Jedi before and not expand on that. Don't explore that. You know what I mean? So yes, I agree that Star Wars, as far as we know it so far, has always been the Skywalker saga, and it's been epic, right? But I want to know about those thousands of generations.
I guess what it is I'm still stuck in the first grade, and I don't want to move on to the second grade.
Well, I understand. I get Joey's point, because
I hear you.
I hear it too, and I was like, honestly, I'm in both. I have both feet in both camps here, because one of the best things about the original trilogy is when Obi-Wan's telling Luke, you fought with my dad in the clone, like we talked about. He just mentions the Clone Wars. He talks about Anakin as his a good friend and and a greatest star pilot. Those things make your brain just kind of like, oh my God, it's such a world that we just got plopped right into, that it's almost like the Bigfoot scenario. Like hearing about Bigfoot and looking for Bigfoot is better than seeing him himself, because after you see it, it's done. The mystery is over. And so if you get out of that Skywalker, that kind of realm, the mystery, because now we're seeing things like, but I've been enjoying that too. I've been enjoying seeing the Clone Wars in Rogue One, and how the Death Star was actually produced and brought in. I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, but see, Joey, that's why nobody can ever take that away from us. That's what the magic of Star Wars is. It's Luke Skywalker staring off into twin suns. all this stuff has happened before him and after him, but we're on his adventure. And that's, and like I said, there was no explanation needed other than a mentor telling him the past on 3 lines of dialogue. And we got the entire story played out in our heads. And that was fantastic. And it's important that Star Wars never loses that. It really is, you know. But at the same time, that's why I was like, go back 25,000 years, go forward 25. Let's start to get some different different stories altogether. Bring Revan in, you know. Let's explore that. But if you at the same time, we're here for it too, you know. I mean, like I said, with going for Scott's sentiment, I'm in for it too. Like, let's see it, you know. I'm here.
Yeah. So I want to bring up Brian C's comment right here about The Mandalorian. I tried to make the argument that the show should have been named The Mandalorians and just focus on the Mando to help tell the story. I agree, because I also looked at the Book of Boba Fett technically as season 3 of The Mandalorian, because if you think about it, Boba Fett is Mandalorian, Mando was featured, Grogu was featured, Scott, it continued that Mandalorian story. That should have been The Mandalorian season 3, you know, subtitled The Book of Boba Fett. Right. What we got with Mando season 3 could have easily been season 4, right? And moving on from there. But I agree with that statement, though. The Mandalorian, is it like Jedi, where the plural of Jedi is Jedi? You know, like the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
sure.
I think we've talked. We've always made I think everybody here has made that argument of each season could, like, season 1's about Mando. Season 2, the Mandalorian, is that Grogu? Are we talking about Grogu? And then like season 3, now we talk about Bo-Katan and the Mandalorians. Like, and I think the answer could be like yes to all. You know, like Dave Filoni probably would say, yeah, the series is about Mandalorians the way you think it is. And this, you know, it's like, why I think it's this. It is because it's exploring all that. But it's also given us some really cool history and some backstory and you know, what happened to them and why they were around, you know, during the Empire realm. Why was Boba Fett so feared just in that armor field, you know, struck fear. So that is cool too. You know, so I mean,
it's just like, what if season 4 is still called The Mandalorian, but the majority of the story is about Bo-Katan?
I kind of think the next season, myself, I don't think we're gonna have Bo-Katan in it too much. I don't think we're gonna have Mandalorian in it too much. We might visit the planet as it's being rebuilt and restructured. The only thing I can think and hope, cross my fingers for, is the Mythosaur has to come into play somehow, some way. Like Mando goes in there and it just busts out of the ground, and he, you know,
I think it's just the way that they ended, like you said, the way they ended it with him chilling at his house, and it was like finality. So it's like, how do you bring him back into the fray?
Well, with Carson Teva.
I mean, Carson Teva, he was hired on as, you know, the muscle for the Republic. That's
where I think the adventure is going to go, because now, moving on to what we got as far as shows wise, we got Ahsoka and we got Thrawn and we got the big threat and the bigger picture of what's going on. Now you can speculate on Mando's next adventures with Carson Teva is the one who's been telling the New Republic there's something going, there's bigger things going on, and New Republic's not listening to him. But now we're gonna see it. And I think he's going to go to Mando on Navarro and be like, here it is. This could be the Rangers of the Republic kind of intertwining with Mando season 4 kind of stuff like him.
Could you see Mando saying something like, "This ain't my fight, I'm good," and then like kind of have to be coaxed into it?
I don't think so, because it was a proposition. It was a hired gun. Like Carson said, we have to clean up these things, and are you in? And he's like, yeah, if the pay's good, right? So in that way, right? So I think that here's my thing, Joey. I think Mando would, like, this is a job. It's a job, but he's in over his head when it comes like, oh crap, I can't fight Thrawn on my own, or he's gonna figure out I can't fight Thrawn and the Night Sisters and the Galactic Republic or the Empire, these remnants, on my own. And I think he's going to just stumble across this bigger thing that's going on. But I think he's going to be willing to, and he's going to be right there in the front lines too. You know what I mean?
I also think that he saw enough of the threat out there with Gideon and the stormtroopers and the, Gideon's special what were they, jet troopers essentially. I think he saw enough of the Imperial remnant threat to know that if the Empire comes back, nobody is safe, especially his kid. So I could see him taking a more active role in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because as of right now, he's chill on Navarro because he thinks that the Imperial threat was just a warlord that just went nuts, and they dealt with it, so they're gone. But now, because again, nobody knows about the Shadow Council but the Shadow Council and the Imperial remnants, and nobody knows about Thrawn except for them. But then there's Hera, that was now because of Ahsoka. Now the name Thrawn is being thrown around everywhere. I seen him, you know what I mean? Like he's, Ezra, it was on the ship that Thrawn came back. Ezra's going to, it's like, he's here. And obviously Ezra went to Dathomir with Thrawn, or I don't know if he had jettisoned before that, but we never got any kind of like, when did Ezra leave Thrawn's ship to go to the New Republic or to Hera kind of stuff. But
anyway, be a one-shot comic.
Yeah, maybe, or in a prologue for Ahsoka season 2. Who knows, right?
Or they'll just ignore it outright. Either way, he's safe. He's with his family now.
Will Gideon team up with Thrawn, assuming he's alive?
Gideon dead.
I know, assuming he's alive. Nobody know that. That's the whole thing.
I think he got toasted.
Because if they wanted to kill him, they should have did it in a more definitive way to kill him instead of just being thrown off into the fire with.
I always say, if you don't see a body, then that's the.
We're talking about we're talking about a world, a galaxy where people can get shot in the shoulder and they're dead, right? That's
stomach.
Yeah, stomach, shoulder,
third
get
stomach,
stabbed,
whatever.
Get stabbed, you'll live.
Yeah.
Or
get
get shot,
8 hearts, whatever.
You get stabbed or shot in the heart, but it was a wrong heart.
Yeah, come on, dude. Yeah, they got to stop that. The gut shot, the flesh wound thing needs to go away, and we'll see. But like what to me, I thought, and this is like, okay, so after watching Mando season 3 with that final scene, right, where it could be like, oh, it looks like it's ended, right? It was like a I don't know what they're gonna do, but then we got Ahsoka, and to me, Ahsoka started everything, because there it is. There's the bigger. Here's the real threat of what's going on. And I thought, personally, like, Ahsoka was a 10 out of 10 kind of series. It had everything. It had the mystique behind it. It had Jedi stuff, Sith stuff, if you were quote unquote Sith stuff. They had Imperial Rebel. I mean, it had everything. And to me, it was like the pinnacle of Star Wars. And that's and the Rebel season 5. If you will,
it felt like Clone Wars, because we had Night Sisters with Night Sister magic. We had
that faction of
never seen
Force
before.
users is what we clamor for. We want to see other factions using the Force in different ways, not just Jedi, Sith, right? Yeah. Of course, there's dark side, light side, and I'm assuming the Night Sisters magic is all dark side magic that they know how to tap into. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Scott Winters is saying here too, Ahsoka wins because zombies. Yep. Yeah, something we've never seen in Star Wars, because I'm not counting the book Death Troopers. That's Legends, right? This is actual. Right. Not the live action. Yeah.
That's something I thought I would never see in live action.
Seriously.
Basically, Ahsoka the first season was something I never thought I'd see in live action.
Right?
Everything.
I mean, we actually saw Death Troopers that were zombies with their jaws,
like
underneath the helmets. It's like, whoa, this is amazing.
They weren't called Death Troopers like the Rogue One Death Troopers, so we don't know if they're dead. It was like a weird, where they grown clones that were just kind of like whatever. But no, the Death Troopers in the true sense of Death Troopers, zombie troopers, night troopers is what they called them.
Night troopers,
which is like, again, so many cool things. So Bad Batch, and on the Disney Plus side, we got there was one more series. I don't even think we even did a show that was on. But we got Visions 2, season 2 this year too, and. As you know, it's so funny because like I'll still like surf Disney Plus, and I'll see it, and I'll see all the titles, and everything looks really cool, and I do enjoy it, but I just don't enjoy talking about them. I enjoy like watching them one off, and there's nothing to talk because there's a lot more sentimental, or it was like this spiritual growth of this character that nobody really cares about. It's not Luke, it's not Leia. That's the thing.
See, I don't know. Like season 2 to me it just felt like they tried too hard. Like it was.
Oh,
the
season
first
2
one,
Visions.
the first one I loved. I loved the first season of Visions, but the second one I was just like, why does this feel like off? Something just feels like not like the first one.
To me, it all kind of blended through. Yeah, I think
I don't even remember season 2.
3 or 4 stories that were like kind of like the same thing. That lone, and they were all Sith oriented. Like as far as like, here's this kid that has the powers, you don't know how to use them, and then it was like this. He comes across a Sith ghost that makes him awaken for his power. It had like the same kind of theme going through some of those, not all of them, but there's like, but like season 1 had like the Boba Fett band, it had like all these kiddie stuff, and it had some, the cool things going on. But like,
I remember season 2 was definitively almost all of it was definitively set during the Imperial era. Right?
Yeah.
That's how it felt. It didn't feel like there was the first season felt like there were a few stories that were hundreds or thousands of years in the future. It felt like there were some that were in the past. And then Boba Fett and the band, it was the only one that felt like it was in our era, the Skywalker saga.
The one thing I do remember about season 2 was it all felt Star Wars. Because we had this kind of like criticism about season 1 about an anime story, but then at the end they just said, here's a lightsaber, and they called it Star Wars, but in nothing else
slapped the logo on it.
It felt Star Wars because like Scott said, or you said, it was like it had a lot of Imperial references. Like then they would say the Empire.
Yeah.
And so you see the Empire symbol everywhere. You would see the propaganda and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Here's the thing about Visions.
It's cloudy to me too. Like
that's the thing about Visions. It's like it might not be my thing that I go to and like kind of like talk about whatever, but at the same time, I don't want to take, just because I don't gravitate to it, I don't want it gone. I know there's people who do, and if they make toys around it, if they make books around it, I'm cool with it. Like just like the young Jedi Adventure stuff, the kitty stuff. I'm like, there's a need there. There's like, I don't have to sit there and like consume it, but it's not for me. But
my nephews,
but I don't want it gone because I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, or I don't watch it or on repeat, stuff like that. So there's always
what's crazy is shows like that, like the young Jedis, and I'll even throw in what's called Resistance.
Yeah.
No, those shows like that will get a young, like my nephew, who's like,
there's an audience for it.
That'll get them the interest to come on.
I can see Resistance having that appeal for a tongue-in-cheek slapstick kind of stuff.
Nope,
not for us.
Nope,
not for us, because we take our Star Wars.
That show is crap. I would rather watch the Young Jedi Adventures than Resistance.
Let me ask you this real fast, just going off topic from Resistance. If Resistance was set in the original trilogy era, would you feel different? Same kind of characters, same kind of stuff. Really?
No, okay. Because the reason why Resistance was such, in my opinion, the Resistance was such a failure, there were no consequences to anything. If you watch Rebels and you watch Clone Wars, there is a certain level of weight to those stories. There's consequences for actions. Ahsoka does something stupid, people die, clones die. Anakin does something brash, people die, and that affects. There's
no lessons learned in Resistance. There's no growth.
That drives Anakin's growth and his push towards the dark side. There is nothing in Resistance at all. For a moment, you think, oh, the Hazian Prime is destroyed. Oh, Kaz's parents are killed. You think there's some weight there. Oh no, wait. His parents were off world at the time. There were no consequences to those actions, you know? So
It's a
no, and plus
filler. It was a big filler something. I think it was a contractual thing through Cartoon Network.
even filler has more consequences than this. It was
Yeah.
just, at least with the new Jedi, the young Jedi adventures, it takes place in the past. It's a kid's show.
Mhm.
Resistance was directly aimed at filling the gap between, leading up to The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It was the big push in the journey to The Force Awakens. I say in quotes. Remember, there was the big novel push. There were novels and games, and
there was toys made.
It was all the
made, yeah.
journey to The Force Awakens, right?
Yes,
And
the journey.
Resistance was part of that, and Resistance sucked.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. It just
we were
sucked.
covering it, and it got to the point where it's like I didn't even watch the finale. I was like, I don't care. I don't want to watch it.
Didn't matter.
You didn't watch
Didn't
the whole
matter.
thing?
No, I think the last 2 episodes, I was like, I'm not watching it. I don't care. I'll let these guys watch it.
Yeah, I made it to the 3rd episode and I tapped.
Did you?
Yeah,
I watched every episode, so you mofos wouldn't have to. Okay,
and that's what I said. I said Scott will watch it. He'll explain to it on the show. I ain't doing it. But okay, God. So yeah, I'm there's a lot to be said about Star Wars, and I will say this is that there's a lot of stumbling out of the gate when it came to video games. It comes to the books, it comes to the series, not necessarily the series. I will stand behind Mandalorian, even Book of Fett at points, even Kenobi at points. I will stand behind him. There's no really stumbling. There was some messaging that was like, getting in the way of storytelling. But the movies are absolutely stumbling. So there is some stumbling out of the gates for this Disney Star era. You know what I mean? But I feel like this year was fantastic as far as like Disney Plus wise. Besides Visions, again, not my thing, but it's still a thing. Nebulous B checking in. What's up, nerds?
What's up, Neb?
Well, the Facebook. Who's the Facebook user again? Who's on there?
Scott Winters.
Thank you, Scott. Yes.
Yeah.
The sad thing, Scott, is that they bled the Resistance to do Galaxy's Edge Disneyland. Yeah.
They did. But
I have a whole thing. Well, not necessarily Resistance, but it was in that. I think
the
maybe
books, the Black Spire books, and
I know what he's talking about. He's talking about like the figures too. The gold stormtrooper, the red cardinal.
Oh yeah.
They were available at Galaxy's Edge.
Cardinal was in the books. Black Spire.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was the name of the gold trooper? But you're right. They were selling that glow.
He's right there. I have him somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, I got rid of that guy.
Yeah. So I just rewatched Book of Boba Fett. It's growing on me. Exactly. There are some things that now we know bigger pictures on things, you know what I mean? And we've seen things. I'm gonna tell you right now, Kenobi was good. Like to me, it was like half good and half kind of bad. I just didn't like half of it, but half of it I really liked. I just was doing my rewatch of Star Wars, but again, everything, right? And I did the prequels and I paused and said, do I go right into Solo, Rogue One, original trilogy? Because I felt like Kenobi had some real good emotional bridging in there. And I watched Kenobi again and I was like, just kind of like, wow, that's the true bridge to A New Hope. Not Rogue One, but Kenobi,
I feel like Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi both kind of suffered from a drag. Both of them were dragged out a little bit long. It's like Kenobi, excuse me, Kenobi would have been a great 3-hour movie.
Yes.
Book of Boba Fett would have been a great, I think Book of Boba Fett, they could have cut like maybe an episode or 2 out and it could have been a little more streamlined. And I hate saying that because the more Star Wars, the better in my opinion.
Yeah, but it was Book of Fett was getting redundant with the two steps forward, 18 steps back here. Let's go. But it is
Kenobi.
That finale is spectacular.
Absolutely. And so was the Kenobi finale. I feel like they could have removed a couple. I'm sorry, because I know there's a lot of people that like to hate on Reva, right? And if you look at it, you could have easily removed that character. use the Grand Inquisitor and its play and do a little rewriting, and you would have had a more streamlined through line in that story.
Where again, my rewatch at Kenobi again, my only problem was the Inquisitors. The entire Inquisitors, the reason why they're there, the plot, the whole Reva's story, and not her herself. It was her reasoning, what her revenge thing was. It was like, well, that was dumb. Yeah, it was like, that and like dumb, because it's like your revenge is with Vader, and you made it like, I mean, you tortured you did so many bad things just to get
in the
Vader.
Streets.
Yeah, but
she's becoming what she hates.
Yeah, and it wasn't really explained that way. So anyway, that's no longer 2023. But what these series that are out there, that how like the rewatching, if you really kind of get the sense of what those series were meant to be, why they were produced and why we have them, and I'm so glad that we have them too. So
Gordon, imagine if Kenobi had fought the Grand Inquisitor. Well, then Kanan wouldn't have had the Grand Inquisitor to fight against, because Kenobi would have made short work of Grand Inquisitor. Yeah. But I say that, but then again, Kenobi had also cut himself off from the Force. He had done the whole hiding. He couldn't even make his lightsaber come to him. He was so,
and that's the parts where
rusty.
You watch the prequels, and then Kenobi has that prologue, and then you go jump into right to where he's at and on Tatooine, and just kind of like, and his speech to that other Jedi, like, we lost. The wars, we lost. There's no Jedi left. Just go away. Go into the desert and bury your lightsabers. We're done. It was giving up, and then that whole coming back from it was really interesting. And again, the Vader Kenobi thing, the fight that I never thought I needed. The
fact that he started off like he was defeated.
Was like defeated. Because it was like no hope. It's just all hope is gone, and that is a real feeling for the Galactic Empire. As much as we love the Galactic Empire, as the visuals and just how cool they are, it was a very oppressing government and structure in the galaxy that we probably would never want to live that way unless we were a stormtrooper. You know what I mean? Unless we were Tarkin or those guys. But
there you go. You got to be like in the upper crust to get ahead at all in the Imperial. Yeah.
Well, okay. So anyway, this year also we had Celebration Europe. Again, it was just more cool things, and the next celebration is going to be in Japan in 2025. Which again, we're still like 2-3 years out from any kind of theatrical releases. And so I'm waiting for it to come back here, and we'll have hopefully a big meetup. That'd be awesome.
I'm not going to Japan. Sorry guys. I'm not going
that might be a little bit too far. So
I mean, I tell you what, if I win the lotto, then
we're going to
go to celebrate. I will take all of you to Celebration Japan. Okay. How's that? Saki,
you heard it here, folks. You heard it here. We're gonna hold Scott to that, and you're like, man, that cost a little bit more than I thought it would be.
not the chat, just you guys. Not Chris, not Ernie. They skipped out on this episode. It's just you guys. That's it.
He will go. He's been twice. Awesome. I would. That would be a cool vacation.
That's right. Because Nebulous P. He used to work for Disney. He worked for he was actually in marketing for Disneyland or Disney company. So
Brian C. He said just recorded that, Scott. So you cannot renege on that. You can't.
Not only that, Godzilla's over there. Oh hell yeah, we gotta go.
I don't even know how Tokyo is standing at this point, man.
I know, right?
So in the gaming world, we got Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Fallen Order. That came out. I wish there was more Star Wars games, and I think after this year there should be, because EA's lost its grip on Star Wars.
Reality? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that too. But now all approved studios can make Star Wars games, so I'm hoping for a flight simulator of sort, reminiscent of X-Wing or TIE Fighter versus X-Wing. If anybody remembers those PC games, those were fantastic. Let's get into it. Let's get a fighting game. Let's get a strategy game again. Let's do it.
Masters of the Terraskasi 2.
Yes.
I love that game. I used to play it. Man, you could be Jodo Cast. I mean, how cool is that? Yeah.
We also celebrated the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi this year. And we all went to the movies and watched it. I was the only one that stayed awake through the whole thing, I think. Okay, me and Joey are the only ones that
Hell,
stayed awake.
Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I stayed awake for the whole thing. Julie
fell
was
asleep.
fast asleep, but
Chris slept through it.
Julie slept through it. Yeah, it's, no, I was
Unbelievable.
awake.
Desmond
It's an
slept
hour
through it.
and 40-minute movie or whatever it is, and they fall asleep. Bring back Yub Nub. Chris isn't here to combat us but I think the three of us here and
100%
most people in the pit would love Yub Nub to be the staple. In fact, when that scene in the end comes up, I always just sing it in my head anyway.
Yep.
And appreciate.
Sometimes I sing it out loud just to piss people off. But, hey, especially in the theater, stand up and just belt it to the world.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "What?" Like we did with Suka, right? In Disneyland,
right? Yeah.
And last but not least, go ahead.
Hang on. Before we go any further, Nebulous B did bring up Outlaws and Eclipse.
Okay,
what happened to those?
They're still coming. I think there was some updates on Eclipse, and it's still coming. But these are these video games. Again, when EA had the sole contract, no studios. It takes forever for video games to be developed anymore. But like I said, the only one that was released this year was Jedi Survivor. But at Celebration when we went last year, Eclipse was announced. So it's only been amazing. 2 years, maybe a year and a half of supposed maybe prior, but we'll see what happens. And Outlaws is another one. It's like Nebulous. Is that a mobile game? I think it is a mobile game. I'm not sure. I have to kind of like Michael, Federation representation. Hope everyone and the families are doing great. Baby Abigail is here and healthy, 5 pounds, 10 ounces. And I saw like Digest is her first YouTube show she has ever watched. Congratulations, Michael, and your family. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. That's why I was kind of excited to see you pop up in the chat. I was not worried, but I was like wondering, is the baby here? Come on, let's go. We got to add more fans to the Starlight Digest and more a new generation of Star Wars is here. So congratulations, Michael, and thanks for checking in, man.
Appreciate it always.
Yeah. Outlaws is the first Star Wars sandbox game. Outlaws. Oh, okay. Nebulous. So we have Outlaws, Eclipse, and Hunters. Hunters is the mobile game that's coming out. Outlaws is the one that's to me is the most promising one of all these three. Even though Eclipse looks great, don't know a lot of information on it, but
it looks good though. I won't play it.
Michael, this was for you. Sarlacc would be a great middle name. Abigail Sarlacc.
I mean, it would be unique. That's for sure.
If this gets made, if Dark Forces gets remastered and actually comes to fruition, I will be playing it. I still have the CD-ROM. I still have the game of Dark Forces. I loved it. Okay. So that's the gaming news. Not much to talk about this year about Disneyland and what they added as far as besides new characters walking around, this year. But next year promises to be a little bit more, exciting. More Star Tours. Though. Yeah, the characters were the big
walking
thing.
Around because we went last Sunday and Ahsoka was walking around, Chopper was rolling around, and the animatronics on Chopper are incredible. The front
because it's real Chopper. It's him.
Yeah. I mean, his front wheel extends and retracts. It's awesome, his head bobs. He has the voice. I was wearing my Sarlacc Digest hat, so I knelt down to get a selfie with him, and his handler said, "Does that say Sarlacc?" And he went, "Ah!" And backed up. He's like, nope, 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 nope. And then he laughs and he comes right back up, and he posed. He tilted his head and posed for the selfie. I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible.
The one thing Disneyland, and again, they had those 3 droids walking around, the little was it the BD droids or something like that, and Chopper, and they're getting there. They're getting there. So I'm hoping 2024 Disneyland it's gonna get
we got Hera walking around now, so we finally have a Twi'lek walking around. That's incredible.
And Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka. So we're getting some aliens, we're getting some droids. They're picking it up. I wish I wish we had more unnamed characters just kind of walking
I want
around. Just like a
generic aliens. I want some
random.
Biff. I want some
Yeah.
I want a hammerhead walker. They could do it. I don't care. It's Imagineers.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we've got a hammerhead. We've
yeah,
got
but one
Doc
that's walking
Ondar.
around with a with a little with the, what I mean, a real floating droid that's interpreting.
Mhm.
Oh, sure. Yeah, a little droid.
It's Imagineers. They could do anything. I wanted to save this one last because it was probably really cool, and it does go hand in hand with Star Wars is the collecting world. We got our Ghost HasLab was introduced this year and funded, so we can
So
expect that next year sometime. So that's as far as like the
Expect
big
a toy review on it. Expect a toy review. That
there
is
might
gonna
be one
happen
or two. Yeah.
the day it rolls in. I am going to unbox that thing. I might even go live with it just so
Yeah.
we can all experience it together.
Dan, yes, yes, please.
Okay.
Chris Louise, she sees Fennec a lot, but people tend not to take pictures with her. I
did.
have not seen Fennec at all. I would love to, and I wonder why.
Does she not like taking pictures or?
No, she.
Why?
Whenever I walked up to her, I said, "Could I take a scan with you?" And she's like, "Yes, of course." But that's it. You got to try and keep it, within the universe. It's not a picture; it's a scan. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Crystal, one of our former students in the theater department, she is actually the costumer for Fennec and Boba Fett and the Mando. So that's kind of a cool little side.
I got to see Grogu there this year. And that was the highlight of one of my trips. And then all I kept looking, I was like, oh my God, there he is. You know what I mean? Knowing that it's yeah, it was great. But so in a nutshell, that was 2023 Star Wars. And there's a lot there. We got a lot this year. I don't, because of the strike and all that stuff and some of the Disney reorganizations and moving things around, I don't expect here's the thing. I don't expect a lot like this next year, but I do expect next year to be fun. We still got some fun projects going on. There might be some surprises in there. Like I said, they might drop Bad Batch season 3 in the mix, or a Tales of the Jedi season 2 in there, or some other brand new whatever, like maybe some news on the Lando series, maybe some news on the droid thing, because I don't think that was officially canceled. So I don't know.
So has there been any word on if there will be a Vision season 3?
I haven't seen anything like an announcement or an official thing, but see, that's the whole thing, right? 2024 is going to be a rebuilding year, and I'll tell you why. Because there's no celebration, there's no theatrical releases. I know there's 2 Disney shows that are coming out, and they're not main shows. They could be epic. They could be like, oh my God, these are great. Like, to me personally, like Andor was epic. I freaking love epic, and I don't consider Andor a flagship show like Ahsoka or Mando or stuff like that. But maybe Skeleton Crew and Acolyte will have that, that praise to it. But nothing has been announced as far as Vision 3. But I wouldn't put it past them, because they broadened the project to not just like, first it was all Japanese anime, and then it was all studios. And I think like it could continue. There's more studios out there that could put their little Star Wars spin on it and do it. They could sneak Tales of the Jedi season 2 into us, sorry, on us.
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take it. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So that could be a surprise too, because who knows if the animation studios were on strike, not the voiceovers, but the actual like artists, and I know the writing was, but we'll see.
It'd be cool if Tales of the Jedi, like if it followed Luke's Academy.
Yeah.
If we got some stories from Luke's Academy, that'd be really cool. Because I don't know if we'll get them otherwise.
Well, if Tales could do the thing where it's like we concentrate on 2 characters for this season, Dooku and Ahsoka, and then the next season would be like,
Ben Solo.
Yeah, it could be. It could be Ben. It could be Ben, and then go kind of like I don't know, somebody else. Like I said, Luke, another person, in his temple, or I don't know, something like that, where they concentrate on two characters, or you know, I don't want it to go away because it was so fun. That was so much fun. That little, tidbits that we get and everything. But
I don't know if we need any more Ahsoka though, because I mean, we've already got her from birth. We've got her teenage years. We've got her
everything
adult years now. We've got her.
It's almost like Vader, right? Like people, we want more. I'm like, I understand. I mean, I love Vader too. I just want.
Hey, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
No, but I'm saying we got Vader from birth to death and everything in between, more or less. I know there is like, okay, so Kenobi connected a little bit more of that tissue, but again, there's more 10 years, and then there's the books and the comics that are fleshing out the Vader stuff in between.
Dude, I want to see every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that he went through.
You want to go with Vader on his healthcare visits, on his
time for a checkup.
Yep, I want to go. I want to see.
It's time for.
It's stuff I need to know.
It's time for Vader's colonoscopy. Are you ready?
Like Brian C is saying, we even got his stuff after death. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael's saying, thank you so much, everyone. Maybe she'll call in on Ernie's show next Wednesday. She's definitely gonna grow up hearing you guys' voice. Good father. You're a good father. Already a good father. No matter what you do in life, you've already started good. So
that's right.
She's already an upstanding citizen.
Already one of us. One of us. Yeah.
So did you guys see all of the new releases from Hot Toys today? All the new epic pre-orders? We have Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka the White.
Yeah,
that was it's everything in me not to order every single one of these figures, right? They're so good. You've got the Night Troopers, so it's the stormtroopers that are all zombified. They've got the gold cracks in their helmets, and the red
I purposely did not look them up together. Because I want one of those.
Why?
I know, right? And Captain Enoch. And I'm like, I'm
out of here.
I pre-ordered Thrawn. I pre-ordered Chopper. I think to go next to my Thrawn, I might need a Captain Enoch. I don't know. It's just I don't even know where I'm going to put him because this thing is full.
Scott,
that thing over there that you guys can't even see on
is full every week, but you still. I don't know where I'm going to put his tank, and here it is.
It's right there. It's right there. I made room for that sucker.
I've seen your living room. You got plenty of room in there. Julia is the only thing that doesn't belong in there, but your toys do.
What?
She can't hear me, can she? She can hear me?
No, but I'm going to tell her.
No, you won't. Bro code.
Oh, yeah, I will. Next time you come over for Uno Flip, you're going down, man.
Julie, you can't be here anymore. Where? In your living room. This is toy room now. You see those hot toys? I mean,
it is the biggest room in the house. I mean,
there is that. See, bullet point.
Yep.
Again, you're making great points, Scott. I mean, I kid.
Don the Dad Dorn is currently watching, going, yeah, we're gonna have a talk next time.
And there's Don's house. There's Don's house.
Don's house is a Lego mecca. That dude just built. He just built Green Got's Bank. Right? Have you guys seen the Lego Green Got's Bank? You got to look it up.
Yeah.
He built that thing, and it's insane.
Awesome. Don is checking in also. Happy holidays. I had a great year being digested. Absolutely. Nice. It's going to take 1,000 years for everybody to be digested, guys. So we got a long ways to go. So we're in it for the long haul.
He hit enter on that before you started talking crap about his daughter. So, I mean, he might think a little differently now.
I just said that she needs to move out of the living room. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I just said that get out of the living room because we got to put toys there. She's a wonderful human being. God, there's other rooms in the house.
Just buy another house, Scott.
Oh, just buy another house. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
California. Super cheap.
You got a front yard, a backyard. I've seen your garage and convert that and close it.
Sure.
Oh boy, I'm digging a hole even further. But anyway, guys, I said LOL at the end. I mean, if not, I did now. So
it's like whenever you say no offense.
Yeah, no offense, Julie, but you're kind of cramping the style here. We got toys to buy, but
you're in the way.
Wow.
Scott can use my house. That's fine. If you guys dare to come out here where I live, but these guys are too scared. They're so scared to come out here.
Too many rattlesnakes and coyotes out there.
Too many chainsaw massacres out, right? Too many hills have eyes. That's what it is.
Yeah. Inbred cannibalisms.
Yeah, the coyotes are the least of your problems when you come out to my house. Anyway, guys, all right,
farmers
cool.
And
Let's get out of here. Again, we are not going to be back until January 3rd, and like Scott said at the very beginning, we are going to do a real fun New Year's kind of kickoff episode. We are inviting all our Shadow Council on, and if we have room and if there's time frame, we might just throw the link up there for anybody in the pit to join us too and join the conversation for that day too. So
that'll be fun.
mark your calendar. So again, we're off next week, but not saying that there won't be anything content drops. We might sprinkle in something. I've got about 7 Moocher Mondays in the bag ready to kind of like present, but time.
That's a lot to drop on a single day. On a Monday, just 7 Moocher Mondays. 7
just
hours
me. Yeah, I get tired of me.
Maybe Scott can do a live when he goes to Toys R Us.
What? When are you going to Toys R Us?
No,
I don't know. What am I going to?
Toys R Us.
Oh,
Toys R Us.
I see what you did there. Crystal, will there be karaoke? Well, I mean,
maybe, but it's all in Huttese. So brush up on your Huttese.
That's going to be all in mariachi.
No Jedi rocks. We do not sing. Yeah, we do not sing Jedi rock.
What?
And only Yub Nub. There might be a Yub Nub caroling going on. So,
I like it.
So,
but yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of toy drops this week. So be prepared for that. I'm also going to do just so you know, there will be a top 5 action figures of 2023. That's going to probably drop on the 31st. Just so y'all know, it's even though I gave up on Black Series, the majority of them are Black Series figures.
I said, don't ever trust anything Scott says. It's all lies. It's all lies.
All lies. Lies. Deceptions. So yeah. But I'm also thinking about doing I did get the SH Figure Arts Indiana Jones. I was thinking about doing a full-length review of that. So not just a 1-minute review, but a full-length review of that. So stay tuned. I hope to have that going probably maybe this weekend.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll even show up in the chat section this time, unlike I did in the His Tank.
I was just gonna say,
what a novel concept.
His Tank review, which is doing very good, and he was nowhere to be found in the premiere, and I had a lot of fun saying things that Scott wasn't around. I mean, it's just what we do. But
hey,
but anyway, guys, I'll kick us out of here. So remember to, of course, go over to the Federation on the Fallen Fett Chronicles and support our man in the Man of Many podcasts over there, Earning the Fallen Fett, and get that guy to 500 subscribers. He deserves it. He always does a great show. Everybody that's from the Federation that comes over here, it's always fun. We're one big happy family. So make sure you go and like and subscribe over there and give him some, just put him on the background as long as with us too. Like and subscribe and hit the bell notification on Starlight Digest too. Because again, we're always dropping content, and just have us on in the background. We love to be in your ears. We love it.
Put us in your ear holes.
Uncomfortable silence.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Yes.
Don't forget to support our sponsors, the Tashi Station Emporium, where you can get action figure stands like this Balin Skull Black Series figure standing on a Tashi Station Emporium figure stand. Or maybe like Hu Yang. It even works for Hu Yang. Look at that. Hu Yang's got a Tashi Station Emporium stand. So does General Hawk, my favorite G.I. Joe character. Check it out. Right
good
there.
Character. Good figure.
Tashi Station Emporium hand stand. I was thinking about his hands.
I'm not throwing my hand. I'm not cutting my hands off.
You're not cutting your hands off.
Remember, free hugs.
Tashi Station Emporium.
Free virtual hugs, and I hug every stand that I put in the package.
It's sweet. It really is.
I just do it. It's all. It's just because I have time. But anyway, guys. Scott, where can we find you? Let's do it that way. Scott.
You got it. You can find me at The Art of Scott Solo on Instagram. You can also find me at the Sarlacc Digest on Instagram, because I'm kind of there too, and TikTok at Sarlacc Digest Podcast. Check it out, where I've got my 1-minute toy reviews, which I also happen to drop here on YouTube. So check it out there. And as always, the Sarlacc Digest. No, it's not the Sarlacc Digest Central anymore. It is the Star Wars Community brought to you by the Sarlacc Digest podcast. So check us out there on Facebook.
Where we have a lot of fun in there. A lot of funny memes going on in there, and some news that drops and stuff. So, I'm right. Yeah. Gordon, Merry Christmas, Pitt and Sarlackians. Thank you, Gordon. We will see you, of course, hopefully in the
I'll see you at Target.
Yeah, we'll see you at Target, and always look forward to seeing Gordon anywhere out in the public. So I can't wait for our May 4th next year too. So, yes. Joe, where can we find you, buddy?
Right here in my toy room.
Just
there he is. He's right there. Joey. Look.
You can find me on Instagram at bootlegjoe_760. And TikTok, I'm starting to revive it. I started CPR today. So
good.
Nice.
Should be okay. That's at Jedi Killer on TikTok. And starting to pick up my toy photography again.
Yes, please.
Getting time. So
yes, please.
Yep.
Well, you're off next week, so you got plenty of time. Bring your camera.
Oh yeah, there's no school.
Exactly, no school. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you,
Darth Moocher. Where can we find you?
Oh, I'm here every Wednesday
in the hills.
Not next Wednesday. I don't leave the house. I can't leave the house.
Check out Tashi Station Emporium on Instagram. Check out Tashi Station Emporium on Facebook. Boom. And of course, there we go, TashiStationEmporium.com.
Oh, I don't want to take up too much time, but there's some really cool things. 2024 is going to be an actual, like a real epic year for Tashi Station. Things that I've been like working on that are coming to fruition, and it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. And some of the things you guys know about, some things you don't, and wow. So just going to put it out there. I hope that teases it enough. But all right, everybody, thank you in the pit. Thank you, everybody, for our just coming along with us in 2023. Happy New Year, happy holidays, and whatever you guys celebrate. I hope you stay safe out there, stay warm. We will see you guys in January. January 3rd is our next show, and we're gonna kick off 2024 with an exciting kind of like another season of Star Wars is upon us. So,
yeehaw!
I think we're done for tonight.
All right,
so everybody. With that, Scott,
keep it nerdy, everybody. Bye.
I gotta find our outro. Where the heck? Okay.
Well-oiled machine.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.